Up next we have Maïlys.
Hi. Thank you. Hi. Hi everybody. Thank you for being here. I am Maïlys. I'm a freelance illustrator, motion designer, and 2D animator from France. I spent a few years in the UK, and now I'm based in Denmark, in Copenhagen. As a freelancer, I work for a variety of clients, whether studios or direct businesses. What I like doing most is character animations, and more especially explainer animations. This is where I'm having the most fun. But today the project I would like to talk to you about is this one, a project I did last year for the NHS, the National Health System in the UK. I was approached by the production studio Holland House. They got in touch with me because there would be both video and animation in this project, and I would be in charge of the animation part. And it was quite a huge project for one person, because there was 17 videos to make, 67 minutes of voiceover in total to animate, and I had 55 days. So obviously you have to be very clever on how you're going to approach this to make it work. One big challenge, first one, was diversity, because it was for the NHS. It was very important to have all ethnicities, relationship status, whether single or couple, sexual orientations and disabilities had to be present. So big, heavy character project. Challenge number 2 was medical accuracy. The animation was going to be checked by the UNICEF to make sure that medical procedures were represented correctly, so it was a big challenge too. The way I decided to approach it was to create the animation in After Effects using a DK tool plugin and joystick and sliders, because I knew they were very good to make efficient, fast work, and so creating my characters in Illustrator for this. So this is the mood board I sent to my client with all of these challenges in mind, and their priority being on the characters. I suggested we have simple backgrounds, geometric characters with limbs as strokes that were easy to animate. And these were the final character designs. So you can see the color palette the client gave me, and the array of parents and the team of midwives. So the way we approached it was that since it was so important to have it correct, during Zoom calls with the team of midwives that were working on this project with us, we were going through the script all together, and while we were doing that, I was drawing thumbnails from their feedback on what they wanted to do. And then I was going into storyboarding, and I tried to design that in a way that would be very efficient in terms of animation later on, so reusing as many assets as possible throughout the various storyboards, basically. And so you can see here an example of rigging. Once I had the green light on the storyboarding, I went into rigging, and I tried to approach this by starting with master rigs. So one character in the various positions, standing, sitting, breastfeeding, and all of that. Then eyes, for example, blinking or closed, or the mouth talking, and this kind of things. And then I would iterate. So, for example, I had only one eye composition for the 17 animations and the 30-something characters that were in there. And I just shifted that composition on the timeline to make sure that not everybody was blinking on the same time. And then iterating. So I started with one character, then duplicate the rig, change the color and haircut, and boom, in 15 minutes I have a new character. So that was pretty easy from this stage. And you can see here an example of how in practice this turned out. Yeah, so I have time to sort out my slides. Yes, I'm here. So thankfully, by the time that we were halfway through the production, we had enough assets created, and the midwife team were familiar enough with the process that I could go directly from thumbnailing with them to animating. So it saved a lot of time because I didn't do all the storyboarding process for half of the animations. However, as I started working on that project, half of the script were still being written. Meaning that turned out that they were much longer than we originally anticipated. So I suggested that to make sure we could put all the content in. I don't know if you're familiar with the Lofi Girl, but it's like a looping slide. So I said, what about we put the parents in a daily life setting, following this principle of the Lofi Girl, so they can identify to the character. We have less animation, we can put all the content, and it still works despite the scripts being much longer. And you have here a 20-second showreel of the 65+ minutes of animations. But yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much, you guys, for listening to me. There's more about that project on my website. Other projects also have some breakdowns, some personal projects as well, so feel free to check it out. Thank you so much. Thank you.